Om Shanti, everyone. Hope everyone is enjoying the serene sky and observing the interplay between the sun and the clouds. Welcome and thank you for joining us today for Upton Park's monthly talk as we delve into the vital topic of building a culture of health. It is an honor to see so many committed individuals gathered here, each one of us playing a crucial role in shaping a healthier future for our communities. There is a famous Arabian proverb: he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. Benjamin Franklin once said, true wealth is having your health and knowledge of self. Health is not just the absence of disease, it's the inner joyfulness that should be ours all the time, a state of positive well being. So, there is an important questionnaire which I am sure each one of us would be keen at. Is it possible to have a daily practice of pure thoughts and pure feelings? How would these thought patterns affect our health? Would it change our behaviors and does it increase our willingness to move towards a culture of health? So, we will explore this further with a speaker, with an experienced speaker, I must say, Sister Ranjan Amin. Welcome, Sister, for developing a healing and healthy way to sustain health for longevity using our Raja Yoga meditation techniques. Ranjanben has a very impressive background, and I'm sure we are going to have a lot of questions after hearing her talk towards the end. So please feel free to either unmute yourself towards the end of the session or put your questions in the chat. We will be covering them at the end. So, few points about Ranjanben. Ranjanben has always been passionate about healing with plant-based foods from a young age. Okay, now this is quite interesting. She blends Ayurvedic herbs and foods to suit Western taste, diet, and lifestyle, especially management of COVID, diabetes too, all gut-related issues and pain. Okay, her aim is to enable individuals to have the basic Ayurveda skills to manage, reduce, and many have fully recovered. That is so impressive. Now, Ranjan Ban is a teacher and student of Raja Yoga meditation at Brahma Kumaris, London, for the last 36 years, teaching the benefits of meditation, consciousness in cooking, eating, and impact of positive thoughts of self-healing. So once again, I would like to welcome Ranjan Ban. We look forward to learn and explore this further under your guidance. Welcome again.
Thank you, Ranjanben. Very nice to be here this afternoon. Lovely sunny day. So, as Ranjanben was saying, health, wealth, and happiness are really key to how we live our life. But I'm not sure we actually use it to, to really enjoy life as it should be. And so, one of the things that I want to share with you today is how my own life before Raj Yoga meditation was very, very fast paced. And I was a lecturer at Westminster University at that point. And this is around the 80s. And I was looking at managing BA programs, MBA. We just started to get MBA and MSc programs in marketing management and business programs. So I had quite a heavy background with a lot of men, males within the teaching profession. There were no women, and I was the first Indian woman within this culture. It was really very, very stressful working with an all-men team that really reduced women to almost, subservient. So I think when I came across Raj Yoga meditation, it was through a funeral. And, funerals are quite not just stressful, but very emotional. And one of the things I learned when Ranjanben came to do the funeral ceremony, just by chance, we found the Brahmakumaris to come and do the funeral because my sister had died suddenly, and we had to get somebody to do the funeral ceremony. And it was, my father remembered that they do some kinds of ceremony. We couldn't find we couldn't find a priest to come and, a Hindu priest to come and do the ceremony. It was all very quick and fast. So this is how I come across Brahmakumari's Raj Yoga meditation. But at that time, it was the funeral. But it's in the funeral that I see how beautiful, serene, dignified, and so much grace in the way they conducted the funeral. And I thought, my goodness, I love the words that they were using, the words of calmness, just keeping calm. The word they used was Om Shanti. And they played this beautiful music, which was Om Shanti. And I found the emotional state I was in was reducing, was disappearing. And there was a sense of calmness inside. So what was the sister doing? What was happening to us, inside, internally, was quite an amazing process. Now, it's during this process that I begin to really feel attracted to the knowledge that she was giving us, that being calm, being still allows the soul of my sister Meena, who had left and passed, and that if we remained calm and peaceful and serene and dignified, then that vibration would be carried with her, as opposed to crying and being emotional, being upset. And, so that scene, I will never forget how beautiful I felt inside in a funeral. And, I felt I was honoring the soul, my sister passing. And it was a very beautiful feeling in the ceremony that was being done by the sister from Brahmakumaris. So this was my real first meeting of what is the work of Brahmakumaris and what do they teach? How do we then embrace that into our life? And so as I came closer and closer to the Brahmakumaris and learning Raj Yoga meditation, I saw the differences. So, this question, how can we manage a life that's so full of stress? And it's not just stress, it's like we live in it. We don't separate from the stress that we live in when we should be nice and relaxed with a cup of tea. Even the stress factor is there. And our emotional upset is constantly up and down, up and down. So 1 minute we're on a high and relaxing for a few seconds. The next minute somebody comes and they need attention, or something's gone wrong, or somebody's shouting. And, in the academic world, it's very, very emotional. We all the lecturers working together, but they're all like real managers of their own areas or own departments. So I worked with 4 different departments, and I was working with marketing, with psychiatry, with I think it was we even had hospitalities and management. And then another 5th area came in, which was nursing. So all of these were being managed within Westminster University. And you have all of the heads of department, and they're all pulling on you to do this, to write up syllabuses, because there was no syllabus for nurses in management. And so you would be pressurized to do that. Then you'd be pressurized to do your marking, to set all the exam papers. And then you'd take a load of work home and you'd try and finish there, and you'd never get to bed on time. You can see how illness starts to generate, because there's no space where you can just sit quietly and think through what life is. And so in Raj Yoga meditation, we learn to promote that well-being, to give that space and time, and how to manage our illnesses. And one of the things I learned is balance. This was a very major area within Raj Yoga meditation that we learn, is bringing balance on working and also keeping stable, keeping calm. And then we're going to go through how Raj Yoga meditation works on your immunity, your health, wealth, and happiness. And these are key, you know, although I've just said them quite fast, these are the keys to living a very lovely life. And we'll see as we go along, you know, there's a whole civilization that existed in this way, you know, where health, wealth, and happiness were absolute key. And that culture of health existed in the practice of Satyuga, in the Upper Valley civilization. And what were they actually doing was harmonizing. People lived very long, healthy lives because they embraced that pure thought of intention. The feelings inside were not mixed up with negative states. And also, they felt at one with nature, whereas here, we don't always feel at one with nature. 1 minute it's raining, 1 minute sunshine, 1 minute it's snow, 1 minute is windy, or there's a typhoon taking place. And it's all very southern, whereas this was not experienced in this period. And there was no disease during that period because negative states were unknown to them. So now this practice of knowing and not knowing, where ignorance and knowledge exist side by side, this is how it is today. When we don't know disease, we have a very high state of purity within our what we call sanskars. So those sanskars, or the characteristics, my habits, are constantly based on positive state of being. We don't, imagine one day, just one day, which might be tomorrow, where you don't allow your mind to think any negative state, not criticizing yourself, not criticizing others, not getting angry, not being fearful, not doubting, just appreciating. See how you get on tomorrow and see if, I'm sure it will work for you. So people lived a very long, healthy life by practicing these positive states and embracing purity of thought, pure feelings inside them, and also one that is oneness between them and other people. So it's in their thoughts, words, actions, in their relationships, in their attitudes, and with nature, one with nature. Now imagine living around harmony, togetherness, and heightening that awareness of the family, all in this state. Well, I think it can happen because we can all work towards it. And the first area that I would look at to see where this is going to take place is self-care and the awareness of well-being. Now, we don't normally day to day have that awareness, that well-being, my own well-being is paramount. We don't have that thought. But it is a natural process. And that natural process will draw you, just like it drew me that day when I was in that, a funeral, where normally losing your sister was passed on, you would feel, that sense of loss. But here, there was no sense of loss. It was sending out pure feelings so that that soul could move on in a very happy state. So, and in the classroom or in the meetings with all the managers in Westminster University, it was really beautiful the times I could maintain my positivity. And when I lost that peace inside myself, when I lost that positive thought, when I become disconnected, then I'm not embracing that willingness to enjoy being together with those teachers. I'm looking at something critical. And so if I want to be critical, then I need to be also supporting that criticism with some appreciation. Now, if I just talk about myself, in the early days, I would criticize myself quite heavily. And, then I'd snap at other people because I couldn't make I couldn't embrace what I wanted to achieve. And if I couldn't achieve that, then I would criticize myself quite heavily. Now, today, we've learned a different method in Raj Yoga, appreciation. So the awareness of having appreciation of who I am and how I am and accepting that allows me then to move towards that maintaining a very positive thought platform and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, because positive thoughts are deeply connected to when I think about my own health and the state that health is in. So you can imagine that high level of stress at university. I constantly had days when I didn't feel well enough to be at university, but I would go and do the work because you're expected to come. The expectation people have of you, and you have to perform. So basically then developing a lifestyle where we just live Monday to Friday, go to work, do the work, come back home, do whatever we need to do at home, and then we're flat out in bed. We can't sleep very well because it's affecting our sleep patterns. We don't eat in the morning because there's no time, because we're late. I didn't sleep very well, so I don't have the energy. And then, of course, when you get to work, you're feeling very tired and fatigued. But we do manage somehow. And this is how normal, people live this life. And, I want to show you today that those were old habits and they were old ways, and we didn't have anybody leading us to this awareness of well-being. And that is going to happen more and more for all of us. And I hope that today will be your starting point, or many of you will have already started thinking about how to improve your internal changes that affect sleep patterns, that affect your eating habits, affect the nature of how you are, your own thoughts and your behaviors, how you think and how you respond or react to certain things, and how you speak. So there are natural processes within each one of us that are like night and day, and they are inside me. And just as I was very stressed and highly, fluctuating in my moods, I can now also balance and bring about that night and day. Just like night and day know exactly when to be night and when to be day. Obviously, seasons affect it. So we're going to have fluctuations in our patterns of thinking. But the balance is where I'm going to now explore. So it's an internal balance that I have to bring about. It's inside my mind. So we're going to look at first thoughts, words, and attitudes. What kind of thoughts would I need to have that impact my health and that help me to maintain calmness? So you could ask yourself, can positive thoughts impact my health? What would your answer be? So you can all write it down in the chat and send it to Bhavna. Okay, and we can have a look what your thoughts were. Now, definitely, we would say yes, positive thoughts do impact the health in a very big way. Why? Because they carry a vibration. Just like when I'm in a state of stress and I have doubt and fear, I'm not confident, I'm being self-critical, all of those impact my gut straight away. It's happening here, but it'll happen impacting directly to my stomach. And when that, in Ayurveda, this is very, very clear. And also in Raj Yoga meditation, this is first experience. So the first experience that I had myself, that feeling of complete calmness, from that feeling where the gut is all entangled and you've got pains, even perhaps, what we call butterflies, anxiousness, anxiety, and even feeling a little bit of fear. Now, those are all going to not only just increase my stress, but they are creators of disease. They impact my nervous system. I will be getting pain somewhere, probably in the back of the neck, because it impacts the nervous system. And the whole nervous system is running along in the spine, and it's going from here also directly to your gut. So if somebody goes like that, you jump. So that reaction that I just did, somebody comes like that directly to between your eyes and you respond, that definitely went directly to my stomach because I can feel it. So one is experiencing, another is feeling. I'm thinking it, it's impacting through experience, and it's coming into my feeling when I feel it in my stomach. So vibration can be, many different layers. Now, our aim today is to bring positive vibration. When I'm feeling good, I'm appreciating. So we said appreciation was a good starting point to really enjoy life. When I wake up in the morning, I'm saying good morning. I'm saying good morning to the world outside, to my loved ones. And at the same time, I'm appreciating who I am. Do we do that very often? Who am I? Or do I want to think more about how I am? It may be we don't really ever have time to think about who I am or how I am or how I want to be. Often our dreams of what we want to be are cut off because of my negative states. And then when I don't feel well, there were many, many days and years and months when I wasn't well. Something or other happened, like I had a sprained ankle, or I broke my ankle, I had knee issues. And then much later, I had some issues with my gut. So you see, eventually, if you continue to think long years of negative state, then we will get to this area where, like today, we have many, many people have different illnesses. But if I make small changes step by step, then I can. And one of the key ones that we have in Raj Yoga meditation is the role of giving. So appreciation is a starting point. And then, I might say, oh, hello, Bhavna, you look very lovely today. Okay. It's brought a smile to her face. So it might be, many other things that you can think of. Maybe we can't always smile to people, but if you try walking down the street and connecting eye to eye to the people, they'll always look away. They can't bear to look and do eye to eye. But when I look at you and do an eye to eye, connect with you, in my mind, I can give a blessing of good wishes. Okay, so giving, appreciating and giving is probably a very good starting point to improve my health. Because when I do that, I'm not looking to take, I'm looking to give. And giving itself carries a very high level of immunity, which protects me. So let's see how it works. Let's explore. There's lots of research papers. You know, you'd say, oh, well, Ranjan, I have I've heard this many times, but let's have a look at the proof of what's available. So, you know, many people, you know, during 2000 and probably 2000 and 2021, because I just read another report which is not gone in there, 2021. And they wanted to see whether these researchers wanted to see whether practicing positivity, pure intention, pure feelings, and good wishes. Now, these are the areas they were researching. Did they improve immunity? Well, immunity comes in very different, you know, many different layers and levels. So one, they looked at reducing stress levels, you know, and this is happening throughout NHS. We have many doctors who are completely stressed, and some are burnt out, you know, and burnt out means their whole nervous system is completely worn to a point where they can't do that job and they have to come away. And often they come to us in Ayurveda and they come to Raja Yoga meditation. And this is very hard, but we can quickly turn them. How? Because we ourselves have been practicing this very state, pure intention, pure feelings, good wishes. And it starts with my own self-care. So when I care for myself, I will definitely care for others. And my last 30 years, I've been caring for people in the health industry, always caring, always giving. And when you give, it's like a whole ton of beautiful feelings come afterwards. And you're not looking for praise. You're looking to see that they improve. They themselves are improving their health. And it is happening. And so, just as I said about Bhavna, looking very nice, then when my patients came in, I'd always think of what I'm seeing. What am I seeing? A beautiful, unique person, a unique soul, or their beautiful smile, or their loveliness. So you're looking outwards, but it's coming from inwards. You're looking outwards, but it's coming from inside of you, that good area of communication. So our relationships are built on communication, and communication underlies immunity. The more I'm relaxed, the more I have relaxation within myself, I will pass it to others in my vibration. And the more they researched this area, the more they found it affected and improved their health and their immunity. And so there was a meta-analysis by Ramesh et al. In 2013, and he showed that 65 people who were put through this, and they had all been monitored, I think it was for 3 months. They had all reduced stress levels, they had greater relaxation, and they were eating better and they were sleeping better. So Dr. Herbert Benson did another research paper in 2015, which is published now. We don't have access to it, but it has been published. And he also found that people who did meditation opened up a part of the brain that had very, very good pure intention of what we call balance. You know, I was speaking to you about where balance comes from. Now, balance is not just an outward physical thing. It happens inside. And although they're looking at the brain and the responses of the brain, in Raja Yoga meditation, our response is coming from the soul. Now, we know in Raja Yoga meditation that within the soul, a point of light, an energy form that is inside me, that is who I am. And I am positioned here in the center of the forehead, that I have those thoughts, that I create those feelings and I have the experiences recorded in me. And so I also hold the key to immunity. And so the aspect, the spiritual aspect in Raja Yoga meditation of who I am is something I want to just take you and explore into the next. So that we saw the findings of the research papers, higher levels of happiness, low rates of mortality, better physical health, and the techniques enhance the immune system. Now, these were all their findings from, I think we used 4 papers. I used 4 papers to get all this information. So basically, in Raj Yoga meditation, then, we are starting on that basis of who I am and how I am. So if I learn, because we're told, oh, Ranjan, you're female, you know, you're a mother, you're a lecturer, you're a teacher, you know, so these are all just external roles that I'm playing. But who am I really? Am I more than this body? And yes, because, you know, you're a human being. There's 2 parts. There's a being and there's a human part of you, the physical part. And every day we will see the physical part. Every day we will look after the physical part, right? And in fact, sometimes we look after our cars more than we do our physical body. You know, often we're not feeling very well. But in the car, if it needs an MOT, if it's the wheels aren't working or it's the oil's not there, you have to go and fix it, right? But we don't know sufficiently when I get a pain in my chest or I have a pain in my stomach or I'm bloating, my stomach is not so good, I'm not digesting. We don't think, oh, I have to take the body to a physician. We don't think about going at that time to a doctor. We try and sort it out ourselves, or we will just leave it until it becomes worse. So we don't want you to do that anymore. We want you to tackle your physical health as well as your spiritual health. Is that okay? Good. All right, so let's have a look at Raj Yoga meditation. This is what I've been talking about. Now, if I just do a little meditation that you could practice at home, anywhere, anytime, any place, and it's for anyone of any age group. So just like we're sitting together now, just sit right back and enjoy, just be relaxed. And just understand that I might place my eyes somewhere and you're looking at the presentation. So move your eyes away slightly from the presentation to somewhere else in the room. Now I'm looking at a lovely vase with flowers in. You might imagine some lovely flowers, or you might be looking out the window. Nice and relaxed. Sitting nice and relaxed. Quiet, still. I can feel my body slowing down. And my thoughts are slowing down. I take all my energy inwards. And I feel that inside there's a sacred place where I can feel safe and relaxed. It can be a place, whatever you want it to be. Just feel safe and relaxed. And slowly I can feel the calm and the stillness. I come back to where I'm sitting in this room. So you can practice this every day, few seconds, whenever you want. And we have an online, many managers and CEOs of companies, people who work in offices, in hospitals, in teachers, and even I remember some of the prison services, they were all using this technique just to relax for a few seconds, just to have some difference of how the mind gets clogged up with the everyday routine. And we have on our, I think one of our browsers is, I've forgotten now what it's called. It's gone out of my mind completely. It was right there. You know, the Ranjanben, do you know the one that we use where it's just a minute? Yeah, it's come back. It's called Just a Minute. And it's beautiful because I saw all these different managers, and I went into quite a lot of business. One of them was Sainsbury's, and I went to see their managers, and they were using this technique, Just a Minute. It was a slightly different one. It was not ours at the time, but I know we have done a Just a Minute program, and it's available free for anyone to use. And there's 1 minute sessions, beautiful sessions that go from stillness to calmness, to really developing that discipline of calm responses, and also then how to speak in a quiet, gentle way, so that internally to yourself, and many, many different areas. So I think there's 40 1-minute sessions that you can go on to. And so that daily practice and the awareness of having that reflection increases that calm, the discipline that I develop. So this is part of my self-care, to develop stillness, to have that space and time for me. You know, we used to say me time, but we've gone beyond that now. Now it's not just me time. I need to actively practice this creation of space and time for myself. And I can make time just stand still until I've finished doing that, just like we did together. It's so important that I do this practice every day. There's a lady who was a head of our organization, Daddy Janki, and she was also the head of Janki Foundation. Now, both of these organizations, you know, we're all charities, registered charities, and Daddy Janki, I'd known her, you know, since the 80s. When she passed away a couple of years ago, she was 104. And I felt she was not here at that time, although she has, even when she was 103, she was here in England traveling. Have you heard of many women, 103, who are traveling, or even men? Very few people can travel, you know, at that age. And she'd be coming to UK, going to US, going to Russia. I remember that last 1 year, she'd gone, even I couldn't manage that kind of trip. She was amazing. Now, where did that come from? She showed us that it was her discipline, her self-discipline to create that time. If you don't create it, who will? If you don't look after yourself, who will? My self-care is my responsibility. And it's no good if I'm not really well, I will go to my GP. But my first responsibility when I'm unwell is to get well. Okay. And this is the creation that creates good health. What I call good health and what you call good health might be two different things, but you must start with that self-care. And once you start with self-care, you won't stop, because you will love it. You will love how you look after yourself with grace, with dignity, with love. Now, to bring that aspect of appreciation initially is how I get the platform for dignity, self-worth, self-esteem, and love. So if peace is the foundation for maintaining, then just as stress can be creation for disease. So peace has all of these areas linked in: my self-worth, dignity, grace, love, self-discipline, calmness. It is built in peace. So we have a saying, Om Shanti. Om means I am a being of peace. Okay. Shanti is peace, but Om is I am a being. What kind of being? Well, Shanti is expressing peace. Now, often we will say, to each other, Om Shanti. And that also means with my eyes. Remember, I started at the beginning that meeting people in the street, they don't even do eye contact. They look away. So eye to eye, when I'm looking at you, then I will see Om Shanti. I will see the tiny point of light in the center of the forehead. And I'll be saying to you, Om Shanti, and you'll be saying the same for me if you know about Om Shanti. Now you know about it. Tomorrow or today, when you look at somebody out of your room, whether it's your family, remember Om Shanti, because that is your original eternal foundation. That is your original state of being, is peace. And you might think, oh, well, how can it happen in this world of chaos? Well, if you start, then others will start. If not you, then who? So today is a good day to start all of this. But just I started, and look where I started. I was in a funeral, and it's a very emotional time. And my father was still there, to have lost your youngest daughter, even he was being affected by this lovely calmness and stillness. Normally parents are even worse when they see their children have died before them. But see how it enveloped us, that Om Shanti. She played the song Om Shanti. Maybe Bhavna-ben, you can ask her where to get that song from. You can download it. I'm sure it's on YouTube. But it was a beautiful song. It gave me so much nourishment to keep going day by day, to see the funeral through and see all the relatives that came. And my sister worked at major hospital in London. And so there were over 900 people that came from a hospital. So to manage all of that, it was huge. And yet we were able to do it with such love and grace and dignity. And I can't tell you how much these words mean to me. The more I place value on them, the more they work for me. They become like a source of power. But I have to internalize, go inwards and store it there. And then that space that you've created, that's safe and that's calm and that's loving, that's your spiritual entry into who you are. So access available to everyone to sit quietly, from school children to elderly to business people, and to even, as I said, businesses that were, that never ever would look at meditation. Today, they're all doing it. People who worked in banks, you'd think, they never touch it. Well, they're all doing it now. They can't get enough of just sitting quietly, and just those few moments. And moments are very precious. Now, if I don't appreciate those moments, then I'm going to be in a real problem. So how does this self-healing work? As we walk and breathe daily, I can take in breath and I can remember who I am. I developed the practice of meditating at, say, 6 a.m. is a good time. You can't start with 10 minutes. Most of us will do 30, 45 minutes. But it's nice to do a reflection or quiet contemplation. Now, there's a lovely book called Thought of the Day, which Bhavna-ben again will put up for you. You can connect. And it's called Thought of the Day by Daddy Janki. And at the back, there's this beautiful exercises. It says, I am peace. I love peace. I spread the peace to all my friends and family, into this room, and to say to London, all the people in London, and outwards to all the souls in the world. Daddy Janki used to tell us to practice this first thing, to make this your first thought when you wake up. Doesn't matter what time you wake up. It might not be 6 o'clock. So your first thought has to be this: I am peace and I love peace. And so you practice that. You can write back to Bhavna and Umang and write and say in a week's time what difference you feel. Definitely you will feel a difference of how you respond to people will be with a lot of dignity, with a lot of love. So, positive thinking is all at different levels, and you just start where you can. Appreciation is a good area because this virtue is one that helps you to appreciate how disease doesn't need to exist. So the appreciation that the absence of disease, the difficulties we have when we're aging can all be forgotten because the feeling of well-being is paramount. It's very much in the area of creating an abundance in your mind. So we've gone through all of these areas where relaxation and creating that feeling of goodness, of giving, of sitting quietly and creating a sacred space. So these are the thoughts that you can have, okay? Keep your eyes focused in a nice area. It might be flowers, it might be just a space that you like. And try and feel your higher divine self, okay? Now, the gift I want to give to you today is that you're all unique and special and you're angel, okay? You are creating that sacred space inside where you, the angel, are sitting. And I want you to remember that when you leave here, you're an angel, okay? So you can sit there as long as you need to. So make it happen. Please make it happen. Become angels. We can all work together for a world of health, wealth, and happiness. And focus and take this practice with us from today. It's free. I hope you are going to use it. Om Shanti and Namaste. Thank you, Bhavnabe.
Thank you so much, Ranjanben. It was so blissful. I was feeling it should go on and on, the way you were getting calm and cool, and the way just 2-3 points I would just repeat as like we discussed. The major thing was we need to take care of our thoughts, words, and attitude, right? And we need to appreciate. And the biggest thing which I like was like, you don't need a me time, you have to get above that, right? We need a sacred space for ourselves, awareness and everything. We need to have the joy of giving, right? And appreciating, not criticizing ourselves. We should start with ourselves. Others is okay, but we do criticize ourselves. And I'm this we each one of us needs to improve. So this is commendable. So now for everyone, the floor is open. You can please unmute yourself and please you can ask your questions to sister. Do we have any questions? Okay, so I'll start with one question. I have a small question. I know, like you said, that we should follow Raj Yoga meditation. Everything is fine. But the thing is, when we become ill, right, at that point of time, we actually start focusing on our health. How should we, like, how should we avoid getting to such situation? Because
Yeah, no, so, looking after your health, I mean, there wasn't much time. So one of the tips I would definitely give you straight away is there's laws of fruit in Ayurveda, and that tells us to separate the fruit from food. So if you're eating fruit 1 hour away from your main meal, keep them away so that your gut stays nice and clean, because this is how disease starts. One is the negative states, and then you eating the wrong foods and the wrong combinations at the wrong time. So 1 hour before, and there's 3 fruits that you must not eat with any other fruit or foods, and that's banana, apple, and watermelon. these 3 fruits must be eaten on their own, because these also cause diseases. So we didn't have much time to speak about these different areas. And maybe, as Umang has already said, we'll have an Ayurvedic day where we can talk a bit more about how we look after our health, including the meditation. So that was one of the key things I wanted to show you, that how we can change the foods that we are combining. So we do not combine fruits with any other foods, and we eat them 1 hour away. And banana, apple, and watermelon, we eat 2 hours away, and we don't even have them with fruit. So if you're going to have banana, just have banana. If you're going to have apple, just have apple. If you're going to have watermelon, only watermelon, no other foods for 2 hours, and no food, that can be mixed with that. So, people have salads and yogurt. No, you can't do that. So the other thing of keeping ourselves healthy and, not becoming ill is we can't help sometimes becoming ill, like some flu virus, or you eaten the wrong foods and you've now got diarrhea, so please find that sacred space inside and stay calm, be loving to your own body, because these eyes, ears, legs, and arms, and stomach, and all the different organs they're my instruments. They work as I want them. They work 24/7. So I have to take care. Self-care is very important. And that is the method. When I'm feeling ill, I can't always do meditation, but I can go inside that lovely space with some music that I like. And then also it will take me to the point of being able to meditate. It's not so easy because the pain or the diarrhea or whatever it is takes you away from it. But if you go back to your sacred space, create that time and space to be safe in there, you can keep the body safe in that, just like the doctor gives you prescription and keeps you safe, and he helps you to get rid of it. So here I can go inside in that safe, sacred space where I, the angel, am. Okay, there's a divine self that I'm touching base with, and the divine self has no disease. It is pure, in complete pure health. And that is each one of us. So it's not dependent on a religion or idea. This is how it is. There is inside each one of us a pure state of being. And we need to access. We don't access it. I need to just be able to go inwards. I don't need a prescription. But of course, if I need to go and see a doctor, then you might have to wait a week or 2 weeks or even a month before you get to see a doctor. But these are simple practices that will keep you safe. And even when we're ill, it keeps us positive. So the more the positive outlook, the more I can deal with whatever's happening. Like, I've had bleeding going on in my feet and cracks. And it's been very painful, but they have reduced it because I'm staying in my sacred space and sending real energy of healing and a lot of love. It's a very different way of looking after oneself. The self-care is done with dignity, grace, and love. Okay. I think I might have got
that was a really bonus tip. Thank you so much. And definitely, I'm sure each one of us would be making these small mistakes, and we will definitely take care of that. Sister, would you like to take us through a short, sweet meditation so that we can also feel the divine blessing? Yeah, thank you.
So sitting nice and quiet, nice and relaxed. I go back into that beautiful space inside myself in the middle of the forehead. I turn my attention inwards. And I feel very safe in this beautiful, sacred, silent space. It is part of where my divine self lies. It's hidden. But now I'm touching base, a pure energy, my divine state of calmness. It is eternally there. It is like the sun, rays are vibrating through my body, rays of light, pure energy. I have a heightened awareness of who I am, a being of light. Every day I will think of being a light, energy, warm and loving. I'm thinking it, I experience it. I feel it. I feel it throughout my whole body and around me. And that energy is spreading outwards, upwards to all the souls of the world. And I feel the environment, the nature around me, with this love and good wishes constantly reaching all souls and all of environment. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Ranjan. I think we have a question from Kindi. Kindi, would you like to just unmute and ask your question to Sister Ranjan?
Om Shanti.
Om
Yes,
Shanti.
thank you. Om Shanti. Thank you for a wonderful talk. It was very, regarding health. I think the question was like, I can get caught up in doing, and because I've got my son who's 9, and sometimes everyone gets a piece of me, and then my daughters, obviously they're big, and then you have maybe my mum might need me, and then sometimes I get so caught up. How do I kind of because I do agree with what you said about I look after possessions probably more than I look after me, my body. And
Yes, so I can't see who it is, but anyway, yes. So basically, when it's like this, you're caught up. You've said all the right things, so you're caught up. You're stuck, and now you need to move on. You need to move away and detach from those thoughts that are constantly occurring about what you have to do, and make time for being. So you start now. You've just done some few minutes of meditation, reflection. And you've done 2 already. So you'll be a little bit better prepared for when it happens next. If you start rushing around, stop, think, step back, give yourself 30 seconds and go on. You'll see step by step, little by little, all adds up. Okay.
thank you. My internet nearly went, but I heard that part. Thank you so much, sister. I mean, I was really excited when I listened to all of you. I love the bit about the car, especially. I always do that. I said I need to get the tires checked, and then I just collapse. So yeah, thank you so much. It's wonderful. I really feel mindful. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Kindi. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.